I told you I was going to get right back to you on Anna Gifty. I was going to talk with you more about Joe Biden and his transition team, Joe Biden and his ethnic inclusion, Joe Biden and his diversity campaign. It all ties in. And then I said I was going to do another BlackWatch, and I was going to talk about the castration of the black man in politics, because we have that. We've been castrated. We have been put in a situation where black men, we are nowhere near where we need to be in politics at this juncture. I mean, I know we had Barack Obama, and I know we have black politicians sprinkled all over the country, but we're in no way near where we need to be in politics, especially when it comes to black women. And see, this isn't a post about black men versus black women in politics, because I don't think that black women have been the problem or the reason that black men have been castrated politically in America. Black women didn't snatch black men's balls in politics. White supremacy did that. And what white supremacy has also done is it's elevated black women strategically and put them in spaces, making it almost seem as if black men don't exist, even with the former black man as president. I mean, I'm gonna give Barack black tonight, because I gotta be, that's not the argument tonight. That's not the debate tonight. Barack black tonight. Kamala's black tonight. And I said I was going to dig into Anna Gifty because they brought her aboard the team to help with systemic racism in economics. Now, what I do know is she has a bachelor's degree in mathematics. She has a bachelor's degree in mathematics. I also know that she's worked with Kamala before. I also know that she has her own nonprofit. I also know that she is not an American. I mean, she's an African American, but she was born in Ghana, and she was brought here to be schooled in America. She was brought here to live the American dream. She's not ADOS. She's not part ADOS. There's nothing where ADOS is concerned, where Anna Gifty is concerned. ADOS, and it brights on earlier. ADOS people on Joe Biden's campaign seem to still be lacking. Now, I know Simone Sanders, and I believe Simone is ADOS. She's one of his key figures. I mean, she's pretty much moot where Black America goes because she hates black men too. So Simone Sanders, then you have Jean-Pierre, and you have Kamala, and then I forgot the one brother's name. What's that brother's name? He looks, he looks like pretty much all the politicians look now. He's got that kind of that caramel complexion. He is. People out here driving fucked up tonight, for real. I'm like really looking because they've been bobbing and weaving. And I don't know if people are paying attention to their phones, if everybody's just tired of wearing masks. Now, she has a mask on in her car, and I don't know, maybe she's an Uber or Lyft driver. Uber and Lyft drivers, that's why I say you guys got to get up off some of these people that have masks on in their car. They might be ride sharers. So they might not just be crazy. They might not be crazy. Let's see, this person, she went all the way over in front of me to get over on the highway. Instead of holding back, then doing her thing, then get on the highway, she jumped all the way over. And then the other person that had been putting on the brakes, probably people trying to get out of town or something. I don't know, man. It don't bother me because I'm up and down the fucking street all the time. I can drive these streets damn near with my eyes closed. Have driven them with my eyes closed. But all of these individuals that are being placed on Biden-Harris's team, where they're missing us with, there's no ADOS. Outside of Simone Sanders, I haven't been seeing any American Descendants of Slavery. People that were born here. People whose people were born here. People who know the struggle of people who were born here. And there's a direct tie-in to that. Because he's now put Anna Gifty Opoku, and I forgot the last name. She's got 4 names, but she goes by Anna Gifty. The 2 African names kind of get left off a lot. But yeah, she grew up in Maryland and she went to a private school, about $32,000 a year. Comes out to around $2,600-$2,700 a month. Something that most ADOS families can't afford because the median ADOS family in this country is worth $1,700. So we look crazy as hell. Even though we would love it, we look crazy as hell trying to pay $2,600 a month for tuition for one child when we're only worth $1,700. It's crazy. So he found a black woman to put on his staff to help out with systemic racism in economics. She's a math major, so I know she knows economics. I'm good with that. Her being from Ghana, I got a problem with that. But maybe my problem with Anna and the problem with the way black men have been castrated in American politics is he found a black woman from another country to talk about systemic racism. I mean, and I'm talking about a qualified individual. I'm not saying he just go get some any black man. I'm sure we've got a black mathematician with a bachelor's, a master's, a PhD. But Joe went and found somebody with a bachelor's. And it ain't like she lighting her ass with her education for a reason other than she's only 24 years old. What does she know about systemic racism as a 24-year-old Ghanaian who grew up in a privileged household, so privileged that her parents were able to pay $31,300 just for her tuition? Now, you know that ain't all she needed. That's just her tuition. That ain't room and board and books and all kinds of shit. I mean, she went to a school that just not a lot of black kids go to. And knowing that she lived privilege, she obviously had to be privileged to come here from Ghana and move right into the upper echelon of America. Has she really dealt with systemic racism through economics? But we've had black men up and down the board who have dealt with it, who have had to go through all types of shit and could be bona fide, qualified, certified, and not get that job. See, what I'm learning right now is the way they're setting this camp up, they're setting this camp up so they won't get no pushback from somebody that's got a little bit of ism on them. See, they don't want somebody that's gonna come in with some real ideas. They want people they can mold and shape. I don't know why Joe wants anybody he can mold and shape. He almost up out this bitch. Joe 80. Joe's probably not gonna make it his full term. So what's he doing? He's setting up Kamala's camp. And he's gonna surround her around with a whole bunch of people with melanin in their skin. And it'll just look like the fucking United Nations up in this bitch. Because they'll look black, but they ain't gonna be from here. She's Ghanaian. Kamala's Jamaican, Brahmin, Indian. Jean-Pierre, that's French, right? Simone Sanders, it don't even matter where she from. Because she is ADOS. And she don't like us. She especially don't like black men. She hates when black men talk up. She said that. So continuing to fill his camp up with black women or blackened women, where are all the black men? I mean, Joe served up under a black man. How come Joe ain't going out looking for no qualified black man? Isn't it strange that Joe isn't surrounding himself around qualified black men? I mean, he really didn't fuck with Barack until the home stretch. He didn't fuck with Barack until that shit looked tight. If Joe had been showing that he was gonna blow Donald Trump away, Barack would have stayed on the bench. I mean, hell, he used Shelley in a pre-recorded message on opening night of the DNC. He didn't really think he needed him. He thought because he was Joe and he'd been in 47 years, he had it. He was gonna do the thing. But when them numbers started to come back and they're like, Joe, you really ain't wowing them, dog. You gotta do a little something different, Joe. He's like, well, I'm gonna bring out the corn pop story. They're like, no, Joe, you gotta do a little something. He's like, well, I'm gonna get me a black VP. Like, no, Joe, ain't none of this working. Kamala didn't have a black vote when she was running for president. She ain't gonna get it for vice president. We might have to pull Barack off. And maybe Joe really didn't want to do that, but he knew that was going to be the best thing to get him over the hump. Beating a 4-year, non-qualified politician. Gotta call Donald Trump a politician now, because the motherfucker was the president. How can you not call him a politician? He was the president. I mean, his first government job was the president. So he went from being a slumlord, a horrible businessman, to being president. He really lowered the fucking bar for America. Heightened it for himself, but lowered it for America. This motherfucker wasn't the president of student council, but he became the president of the United States, and Joe Biden have trouble beating him. 47 years of politics versus a motherfucker who had 48 months. That's horrible. But they have taken black men all the way off the grid. And see, what people don't seem to understand, is that more black men than black women voted for Obama. More black men than black women voted for Stacey Abrams. More black men than black women voted for Andrew Gillum. I talk a lot of shit about Andrew Gillum, but I actually liked Andrew Gillum before he came out with all these motherfucking excuses about being gay. Just say you're gay, dog. They found you in a hotel room, blew out. Both ways. And you want to blame it on alcohol. You want to blame it on drugs. How about blaming it on you don't know how to hold your liquor and your meth? And you're gay. Everybody always want to make excuses. When they turn up with their pussy blew out, they want to make excuses. When you was keeping that under wraps, you wasn't making excuses, bruh. Why are you making excuses now, bruh? Your wife knew what you was. She knew who you was. Or she would have left your ass on sight. Fuck all that. What I'm talking about is how they basically misused black men in American politics and they cut our balls off. See, a black man with no balls in American politics, everybody love him. Everybody love him. But don't nobody want a black man with balls talking politics. That's why it's the castration of the black man. See, they don't tell you those stats. When we have voted more thoroughly for black candidates, win or lose, than black women, but black women are the face of the Democratic Party. It's not like black men need to be the face of the political party. Who gives a fuck whether black men are the face of the Democratic Party? Who cares? Are we pulling power? We had a black president. We didn't get no better. We got worse. Our Congressional Black Caucus, useless. Useless. Maxine Waters, horrible district. Cummings, he had a horrible district. John Lewis, a horrible district. The districts where black people live, where these black politicians held on for lifetimes, sucks. Why? Because you took John Lewis and Cummings and Waters and you elevated them and you gave them such power, but you said, these are your districts, but you got to be here for everybody. So we need you here for DACA. We need you here for the Asians. We need you here for the Native Americans. We know you're black, and we know you're a civil rights activist, former civil rights activist, but we need y'all to go milquetoast. And they say Maxine Waters, she one of the richest out. She done made a lot of money. See, they like to talk shit about like Mitch McConnell and all them, but what about Maxine Waters? She lives like a movie star. While she's got some of the most homeless-ridden areas in her district. Black people. I don't want to hear nothing about Auntie Maxine. That ain't my auntie. Sorry. And I ain't gonna speak on Cummings, and I ain't gonna speak on Lewis, because everybody knows what they didn't do. And I have a hard time fucking with the motherfuckers that's dead anyway. It ain't like they was ever gonna see this video, but I don't really speak on the dead like that. If a motherfucker was still breathing, I might say something about it. But none of them, either one of them motherfuckers wasn't John Conyers. John Conyers tried to put through H.R. 40 for years. It just kept getting ignored. And I'm not saying that H.R. 40 is our bill. It was John Conyers' bill. And it definitely didn't have enough in it for full schedule reparations. But he tried. These other niggas ain't tried shit. All they've done is held on. Held on till they died. I mean, you gotta look. This idiot. You gotta look at their record and look at their district and really ask yourself, what did they do for black people? What did they do? Did they do anything for black people once they got in them positions? Really? They did shit to get in them positions, but once they got in them, I mean, Lewis spent his last 10, 15 years flat out caping for DACA, leaving his district to rot. Maxine went after Donald Trump for the last 4 years. She went after him harder than she went after any other Republican president. She went after him well more than she went after Barack. But she's sitting on top of a homeless empire. Ain't nobody said shit. And Cummings is Baltimore, right? So we already know what the fuck's happening there. We've allowed a black president to get on camera and drink water as if he was drinking the tainted water of Flint. We've allowed senators to get into these heated debates with people, and they say they're running for president. They're running as a black man, this and that, and they get right off camera and apologize like it was fucking WWF. So you didn't mean what you said in the debate? You only said it for the cameras? That's how you know this shit's all rigged. Kamala was in 7th place. Joe was in 4th place. Other motherfuckers were gaining steam, yet and still they all fell like dominoes. Bowed out for Biden, and Biden went and got a 7th place finisher. Kamala wasn't even winning her own state. Bernie was beating her in her own state. And you motherfuckers sat around and let that ride. Nobody said shit. American Descendants of Slavery said some shit. They caused the election to be as tight as it was. And I know there were some people that fuck with ADOS, but they just didn't understand down ballot, and I get it. You had to know that if Joe fucked up so bad that he couldn't take the core of people that were going to down ballot, he shouldn't be running in the first place. And now, what he's got in play is a whole bunch of people that I just think are being put in place for Kamala to have her a squad. I'm not seeing any men. I'm definitely not seeing any black men. And if I'm not mistaken, somebody told me that Kamala's husband is about to join the team. Is that true? The black woman found her white husband a job. Has she hired any AKAs? What's the AKAs, frat brothers? Is that alphas? Has she hired any alphas? Any Qs? Any Kappas? I don't know. Has she hired anybody from Howard during the years that she was there? But ain't nobody saying shit about that. If we see black men on the team, they're going to be some of the most middle of the road motherfuckers. They're going to be some goddamn Johnny Mathis motherfuckers. Not that Johnny Mathis was a bad person. Johnny Mathis was a hell of a vocalist. He was a hell of a singer. But he was middle of the road. He wasn't controversial at all. No edge. Johnny was smooth. He had no edge to him. And that's what's going to come in. You're going to have Barack-like motherfuckers. You won't have anybody with some real bass in his voice. People talk shit about Ben Carson. What's the difference between Ben Carson and Barack when it comes to being black in politics? Ben's in a position he should have never been in. Understandably so. But Barack might have been in a position he shouldn't have been in too. Ben's balls were cut off. His balls were cut off just to even take that fucking position. A neurosurgeon, heads HUD. They didn't have no medical shit for you, dog. HUD. HUD. They don't want black men to speak up in politics. And hopefully we're looking to have a lot of that change with some of these young guns that are coming up in 2021. Locally, we got a young brother, you know, he's vying for a city council seat. And I see big things. Hopefully it's his time. Brother Karan, I was able to interview him a few doses ago. And the brother has a ridiculous political mind at 33. And we have other ones out here that as long as they're not compromised, as long as they're not put in a position where they're weakened by the structure. Because I said America loves a black man's dick. America loves it. But a black man with balls, America don't like that so much. See, there's a difference. America fall in love with the dick. But when it comes to politics, you got to have balls. And America just prefers to castrate black men where that goes. I know a lot of motherfuckers is probably trying to figure out, like, what is he talking about, the castration of black men in politics? Hey, it's simple. I don't come at it the same way a lot of these other motherfuckers come at shit because I'm not a journalist. I'm not a journalist. I'm broadcasting to you, so I am a broadcaster. But I'm not a journalist. And my ideologies are based on my opinions. But you ain't never gonna have me out here in the streets saying something that ain't true. Go look anything I say up. It's out there. And I hope that Sharon Stone, that's a joke that they keep talking about, that she's part of the transition team. I hope that's a joke. I saw a video and she looked like she was serious, but I'm just thinking like maybe she's just trying to, you know, fuck with Donald Trump. Because they all Hollywood. We don't need Sharon Stone on Joe Biden's transition team. She don't need to be wearing that Basic Instinct dress no more. Ain't nobody trying to see a 70-year-old worn out cooter mama in the political realm.